Okay, let's dive in. Have you ever, stood there at the sink, maybe brushing your teeth, and the water just kind of trickles out?
Oh, yeah. That pathetic little stream.
Yeah.
Or trying to wash your hands and it takes forever.
Exactly. That feel. It's like, is the water even awake yet?
Well, that whole frustrating experience, that lazy faucet situation, that weak water pressure, that's exactly what we're digging into today. It's
Right.
super common, but as our source material points out, it's often a signal you really shouldn't ignore.
Absolutely. And for this, we're looking directly at insights from an episode of the Customer for Life podcast.
Yeah.
It was actually titled, Do Your Faucets Feel Lazy?
Perfect title.
Isn't it? So think of this deep dive as your quick guide to understanding what that weak flow might actually mean for your house. The mission's pretty straightforward. Pull out the key info from this source, get a handle on the causes, and learn what it might be warning you about.
And what's really interesting from the source's angle is framing low water pressure not just as an annoyance, but as a potential red flag. Your home's plumbing system is trying to wave you down saying something's wrong.
Yeah, it's more than just waiting ages to fill a glass of water. The source really unpacks the usual suspects behind this. What were the main things it pointed to?
Okay, so according to the source, it often boils down to a few usual suspects. You've got the kind of obvious ones, clogged pipes, maybe the aerator on your faucet, or the shower head is just full of mineral gunk.
What the buildup?
Exactly. Then there are silent leaks. These are tricky because they drop the pressure, but you might not see any water damage for a really long time.
Sneaky.
Very. And then corroded lines. That's another major one. Over the years, pipes get rusty, mineral deposits build up inside.
Literally squeezing the pipe smaller.
Precisely. It just restricts the flow. And then there's something maybe less obvious.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Problems with the pressure regulator.
The main valve coming into the house.
That's the one. It controls the pressure from the city's supply. If that thing fails, or if it's just not set right, bam, low pressure everywhere.
Okay, that totally makes sense. So it could be blockages, but also these bigger system-wide issues. And the source really hammers home why you need to pay attention. Ignoring that weak stream isn't just inconvenient now.
No, it's a warning. Because these underlying issues, they can get much, much worse.
How so?
Well, the source makes it clear. Those lazy faucets could be signals for repairs that end up being seriously expensive. That silent leak. It's not just wasting water. It could be causing major water damage behind your walls. Rot, mold, structural stuff.
Yikes.
And corroded pipes, they don't fix themselves. They just get worse, maybe even burst eventually. Plus, all these problems, especially leaks you can't see, often mean your water bill starts creeping up or maybe jumping up.
Okay, so the Customer for Life podcast is basically shouting, pay attention to the pressure.
Yeah.
But it does give some pointers on what to do next, right? Like, how do you even figure out what's going on?
It does, yeah. The source talks about first maybe testing your home's water pressure, see what the actual reading is.
Get some numbers.
Get some numbers. And it makes a good distinction between simple DIY stuff, like, cleaning out that clogged faucet aerator or shower head, and knowing when, okay, this is bigger than me, I need a professional plumber.
When you call for backup.
Exactly. The episode even mentions specific things for showers versus, say, outdoor spigots, and includes some stories, like listeners who just put up with low pressure for ages, only to find out a hidden leak was doing damage the whole time.
Wow, this story's really hit home.
Yeah.
So if we boil down the main message from this source, it's basically low water pressure. It's almost always a symptom.
That's the core of it. Your plumbing's sending up a flare about something. Could be clogs, leaks, corrosion, that regulator issue. Something needs attention.
Right. It's a call to action, really. If you're dealing with that weak flow, maybe it's time to ask why those faucets feel lazy. And based on what sources like this podcast say, figure out your next steps to investigate.
Get proactive about it.
Definitely. And the source actually gives a specific resource if you think it might be serious. It mentions calling AA Quick. The number given is 314-429-7131.
Oh, practical info. Nice.
Yeah. And get this detail from the source. If you mention the podcast, apparently you get $20 off service. They even say you can ask for Jim specifically.
Oh, that's handy. Moving from just knowing the problem to actually getting it looked at.
Exactly. It's about finding that root cause. Which, leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. What other little things, these may be seemingly minor annoyances in your house, or maybe even other areas of your life, what small things might actually be important warning signs that you've just gotten used to that you're maybe overlooking?
Yeah, what signals might you be missing? Something to think about.
Thanks for listening to the Customer for Life podcast. If your water pressure is weak and your patience is even weaker, don't wait. Call AA quick at 314-429-7131 and we'll fix it fast. Mention this episode and get $20 off your service. From slow showers to silent leaks, we've got your pressure under control. Tell them Jim sent you.